Thank you so much, Dr. Melton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, I said that actually social movement is a collective organized effort. I mean, around a specific goal. But to tell the truth, I mean, when
Thank you
we
so much,
are
Dr. Melton.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, in the beginning,
I think we have an issue.
yes, I think we have an issue.
Please proceed now. It's fine.
Okay, it's fine. Okay. In the beginning, I was telling that for the social movement, generally, we're constructing around an issue. And all these individuals, groups, communities are, voicing that issue that they're challenging with. But the thing is, when you are actually bridging gaps and cultivates unity, I mean, it is really important to have, I mean, diverse perspectives, experience, backgrounds of its participants, because, you know, I mean, we can be part of a social movement and around the similar issue, but our experiences, our perspectives, backgrounds, most probably are different. I mean, when, for example, talking about FGM, yes, it's a harmful practice. And as Ivat actually mentioned, for example, in Somalia, nearly 90% of women and girls are affected by it. But when you go and talk to them, I mean, each and every of the girls and women has different experiences and different, perspectives to tell you about FGM, how they experience. So it begins with active. I mean, the bridging the gap actually starts with active listening and open dialogue, creating spaces where every individual feel heard and understood. This is very important, because if there is only one person who thinks that he's not, well understood, I cannot say that it's a successful, movement. Embracing inclusivity in decision-making processes ensures that the concerns and priorities of all groups are taken into account. I, as a person from a social movement, want to be in the decision-making, want to be understood. So this is really important. Training initiatives, educational initiatives, cultural exchange events can promote mutual understanding and empathy. This is also, one of the important things that I want to underline: empathy. Additionally, highlighting common values and aspirations that transcend differences, helps to foster a shared sense of purpose. And ultimately, a movement's success in engaging all these diverse groups, people, lies in its ability to create an environment where everyone feels valued, contributing their unique strengths towards a collective vision for positive, change. This unity, born from diversity, amplifies the movement's impact and broadens its reach. Social movement and innovation. We have been talking about innovation. I must also underline that. Especially during the past 5 years. We have been experiencing this COVID, and I must say that COVID also opens another door in front of us, with pushing everyone to think differently, to think innovatively, especially regarding the sustainability of the social movements. Because for a very long time, like 1-2 years, in many parts of the world, we were actually prisoned in our homes, in our rooms. And when you think about social movement in the past, before COVID, it's generally coming together, gathering in places, and physical meetings. But with COVID, And I shouldn't maybe say this, but COVID gave us an opportunity to think and act in a very different way. Like, for example, today, I mean, maybe 6 years ago, we couldn't think of having a hybrid event like this on innovation. But now, because of the experiences that we have, I mean during the COVID, now we are thinking in a different, way. So, most of the FGM innovative ideas that actually came out from the InnoHack also use this, these experiences drag out of, COVID as well. These two things, social movements and innovation are, two powerful agents of change that can intersect to drive social, progress. And we actually remember that building a successful social movement is an ongoing process that requires dedication, adaptability. Adaptability is very important. And with that notion, actually, all of us adapt ourselves, during the COVID time to continue, doing our, work, including, the movements that we have been part of, and a deep commitment to the cause, as well as creativity and involvement of innovative ideas. Thank you, Leshan. This is all from me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meltem. I think you've highlighted very, very good points. I have really carried out, especially on the points of, allowing people to share their experiences. That allows them to own the movement because there are stories out there. And it also makes them, want to remove their monopoly that one person's experience then has to solve everything. I think that was really, really very good inputs. And I really believe that our participants have been able to capture. And I would like to go next to Fakiria. I would like to hear from you as you let us know, especially about Me Too and Global Youth Consortium on, on mobilizing to take action in form of a movement. We would like to hear from you on the strategies that a movement can employ to ensure a sustained engagement and participation from its supporters over time. Fakiria, please take it on. While also as you tell us about the rest of the, the part of the movement, how have you been able to make lasting impact, and your, parting shot can also now look into, progress and impact, and whether there are any specific metrics or methods that you can recommend to the participants. Thank you so much, and take it on, Fakiria.
All right, thank you. So I'll speak about the strategies that we adopted over time during the movement. And to be honest, given that this was more organic than a structured movement when it started, we were learning from others' experiences. We were learning from our own experiences as we went on. As I mentioned earlier, there's always a trigger. There's always a trigger for, social ills that are endemic to communities. And you reach that point where it just sparks into a fire, and there are conversations happening everywhere. So, at this point, you get to know the degree of momentum your advocacy can gain, right? It's like a vigil moment. And this looks like an aggregation of solidarity from individuals, from communities, from survivors, particularly because they are the ones with experiences. They are the ones with stories that are touching people, right? That are that makes people want to take up advocacy, or just spreading conversation on any particular issue. One other thing was that as it progressed from, okay, this is organic. We have a lot of people that are talking about their experiences of gender-based violence, of FGM. The second thing that we focused on was disruption. And what this was essentially being able to identify our targets. So our targets were people that were publicly or socially known to be upholding these harmful practices, people that were known to be abusers, and people with political power. So at this point, the aim was that it was imperative that we get a response from authorities, that they needed to act or react in a certain way. And what but one of the issues that we encountered there was politicization. Like there was narratives that were coming out about the fact that this was being politicized, either sociopolitically or religiously or culturally, ascribing blame to these different factions of society. And the aim was that this was going to be a pushback. This was going to be a campaign to dislodge people from joining the campaign. And this is something that happens with most movements. There's always going to be opposing voices that will try to push a narrative that, you know, we're ascribing blame to our culture, to our communities, to our religion. We're saying that, oh, these are these sources are where society gets harmful practice from, which isn't really the narrative. It's but we learned that that was just a natural next phase of building a social movement. And the other thing we did after was we simmered down on the disruptive element of our social movement. We weren't pointing fingers. Instead, we became a bit more organized, using more conventionally political means to pass policies. In our case, there was a bill at the National Assembly in Nigeria here that was meant to provide more protection for victims, ascribe more resources in different sectors that deal with victims of gender-based violence, in terms of justice, police reforms, and all of that. And it wasn't being passed. So for us, that became one of our main objective, was to take up this bill and use it as a means to expand our advocacy. So we weren't just online, we weren't just in communities, but we're also trying to permeate national assemblies. So that's the legislative arm, across about 15 states in northern Nigeria. And we were only able to do that by building coalitions. And these coalitions consist of individuals, organizations that were already working on these existing issues, organizations that were already trying to pass the bills, that were already lobbying. So we did a lot of leveraging on existing structures. And I think for me, one of the most important things that came out of an organic movement to a more organized movement was the fact that we, like, as individuals, we were not present on ground in every state. I live in one city, right? So it was very important to find other young people, especially young women in universities, to be part of the coalition, and not just in like volunteering fashion, being there for walks and other, campaign tools. But it was very important that they took up leadership spaces in schools. So we had university girls and ladies, and even men that were were a strong part of lobbying within their states. And I think that is the greatest feature of our movement, is that there was that level of autonomy that was given to these university students that mostly haven't really been in leadership positions, and all of a sudden they're there engaging in dialogue with the national assemblies in their state assemblies. And yeah, I think it's important because a lot of these young people went on to create their own organizations, to create pathways for resources into communities, being able to push for individual cases within their communities too. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Fakiria. We have heard a lot from you, right from being organic to structured. I think that was really good. I've also heard about disruption. I think disruption really gets you the momentum that you need to be able to make progress, and also how you are using conventional political activities to be able to make a lot of impact while building coalitions. I think that was really impactful. I think we have learned so much so far. I think we're going to have 2 more questions and then we end. But before then, I would like us to stand as we have an icebreaker, and then we can finish up with the 2 questions. And I'm going to invite our colleague, Sam, to let us know how we're going to do an icebreaker that is going to, probably cheer us up, and then we can proceed. So Sam, please welcome.
Okay, thank you so very much. Can we just stand up? We're tired and quite detailed conversations. Okay, just a quick one. The name of this icebreaker is called Trikuchi. Can we say that together? Trikuchi. Trikuchi. So let's say that again, Trikuchi. All right. So, and what is expected is the fact that it's an icebreaker that expects that you have an imaginary machete. You know what we call a machete? Like a cutlass, a knife. Okay, so it's imaginary and you have it in front of you. So when I say the first one, which is tree, you try to pierce 1. When I say ku, you try to do twice. When I say chi, you do 3 times. Is that very well? So I would start by saying, can you help? I said tree. I don't have the imaginary. When I say tree, can you all see me? All right, so when I say tree, you do that. Okay. So when I say tree, can we go 3? They will now have 2, 1, 2. They will now have chi, 1, 2. Is that very well? So we are going to start, we are going to go slowly, then we'll go faster. Is that okay? 3, 3, 3, 2, chi, 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 2, 3. Now let's now go faster. 3, 2. Let's go finally one more time. 3, 2, chi.
Right, thank you so much. Clap for him. Right, thank you. So as you sit down, please put on your translation because you're going to hear from Chanceline. We're going to hear from you, or in terms of your work, especially on the online spaces. What advice can you give to young innovators on effectively using storytelling? How can we utilize storytelling, especially from young people, to be able to create a movement while also ensuring sustainability? And also, what are the lessons that you can advise for us to start and lead movements, and the key insights that you have also been able to get with your work? Take it on, Chanceline.
Merci. Alors, pour utiliser le storytelling pour mobiliser et engager des gens, la première chose à savoir, c'est qu'il ne s'agit pas juste de récits. Il s'agit des voix et des perspectives des personnes. Donc, quand on comprend dans cette logique, on approche le récit comme un outil puissant et non juste des histoires. On se demande qu'est-ce que le récit nous renseigne. Le récit nous renseigne sur qui vit quoi, comment et pourquoi. Il s'agit de l'agentivité des personnes et non juste des histoires. Et il est important de ne pas se focaliser juste sur les voix visibles. Qui a quelque chose à dire et qui n'est pas visible? Qui a vécu cette violence et que sa voix pourrait mobiliser et créer du changement, mais cette personne n'est pas ici ou n'est pas visible? C'est de toujours penser au-delà pour ne pas exclure des personnes et créer des espaces où beaucoup d'histoires sont au cœur de ces espaces-là. Il s'agit aussi de documenter les histoires, pas seulement les publier sur les réseaux sociaux, mais les documenter. Je peux vous donner un exemple d'une documentation des histoires des filles dans le monde et en Afrique de l'Ouest francophone, Girl Resistance Stories. C'est un récit de résistance des filles face aux violences dans le système patriarcal. Et vous pouvez lire dans cette série de récits les histoires des filles et comment est-ce qu'elles ont résisté pour impacter leur propre vie. Donc, il s'agit de documenter ces récits afin de les utiliser comme évidence pour influencer les projets, les programmes et les politiques que nous menons. Vous pouvez aussi voir sur la plateforme EYALA où des femmes africaines ou des féministes africaines racontent leur propre histoire, comment est-ce qu'elles survivent au quotidien, comment est-ce qu'elles résistent face aux violences que nous rencontrons dans les communautés. Et un dernier exemple que je peux donner, c'est aussi l'initiative Girl Out Loud, où nous avons utilisé cet espace pour élever les récits des filles depuis les communautés à la base. Donc, c'est de toujours voir les récits comme des voix et des perspectives des personnes que nous pouvons utiliser pour influencer les choses. Alors, comment est-ce que nous pouvons utiliser ces récits-là pour renforcer la durabilité des mouvements que nous créons? Je pense que les mouvements commencent de façon libre et désordonnée. Et à un moment donné, on décide de faire un travail structuré, plus organisé. Et il est important de réaliser cet aspect et de comprendre que nous avons besoin d'une vision politique au cœur des mouvements. Quand je vous donne l'exemple du mouvement féministe où nous luttons contre les violences basées sur le genre, c'est très important de comprendre que nous luttons contre des violences systémiques. Et la compréhension de ces violences systémiques donne une vision politique au mouvement. Et ça va au-delà des actions du moment que nous menons et ça va dans des actions durables. Également, le renforcement des membres de notre mouvement, c'est aussi un aspect très important. Comment est-ce que les membres sont en train de vivre les valeurs du mouvement? Comment les membres sont en train de se déconstruire? Et qu'est-ce qui se passe avec ces membres? Parce que souvent, nous pensons que les violences arrivent vers les autres et pas souvent au sein même de notre mouvement, alors que des personnes engagées au sein des mouvements sont en train de vivre des choses que nous ne voyons pas. Aussi, pour renforcer la durabilité des mouvements, je